We really see that as a problem, and that's why our focus here as youth representatives is really to try and get people to understand what this is all about. Because I think the problem with climate financing is that no one actually understands what we're doing here. We're talking in billions and transaction taxes, and that people really don't know what they are. So we're really trying to get it down to a citizen level and make people understand what they're actually doing here.
And give us an idea, if you can, what is the gap? What is needed at the moment from countries around the world, and what's being delivered?
Well, as you might know, the Green Climate Fund was established a few years ago in Copenhagen, Cancun. And, but the problem is now that there is the fund, but there's no money in it. So we really need to figure out how to fill this fund. And of course, it's going to be a big issue here in Doha, and people are going to talk about it. Negotiators are going to talk about this. But the problem is that there are so many openings to this, and no one really knows if it should be public funds, private funds, taxes, and whatever. And yeah, I really think it's important that we are clear here what is the easiest way to do it, and what country should actually contribute with what. I think that's the first thing we have to focus on.
And it's tricky, isn't it? Because back home, where you're from in Sweden, the Prime Minister's been involved in complex negotiations in Brussels about the EU budget. Many people probably back home in Sweden and all across Europe, which pays a lot of money in climate finance, are saying we should concentrate on giving money to ourselves, not to other people. How do you get across to these people that it's important to invest in climate finance?
I think it's super important to get this issue out to the people, and because as it is now, it's hard for the politicians in each country to push for this, because of course they just want to be re-elected in the next election. And if they start talking about climate financing and people don't know what it is, they don't gonna think that's a priority in an economic crisis as we have now, and they don't see the possibilities that this gives us to actually turn the economic crisis into something good if we start doing green investments and stuff. So at least in my organization in Sweden, we have started talking about a new sort of dimension of CSR, from corporate social responsibility to social responsibility. What did I say?
Yeah, corporate responsibility.
Citizen social responsibility, that's why. And yeah, to really get it down to the people. And that's why we're working on a very special campaign here in Doha that we're going to launch the next week, actually.
And it might be part of the campaign, but this book that you've been telling me about before the interview started, tell me about this children's book. Children's book on climate finance, which must be challenging to make that appeal to kids.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is actually the campaign. It's called Fill the Fund. And what we're doing, we're actually youth from all across Europe working on this. It's, yeah, basically we're drawing a children's book, as you mentioned. And we have this little hero that's going to travel around the world and find ways to fill this fund in a very easy and fun way. This could be handed out to anyone, from a top negotiator to a 5-year-old. That's our hope.